Welcome back, folks, to the Craig Bushon Show at the beautiful Lion and Rose, right in Hill Country, Texas. And if you want to know where it's at, I'm going to tell you like I tell you every week, folks. Google it. And great food, great restaurant. I also want to thank NRN, which is New Revolution Now, our Tea Party friends, also part of the Austin Tea Party. And great folks. They host us out here periodically, and we're so excited about that. And they have some great, great messaging happening. And I got to tell you, for those in the Republican Party, you should thank the Tea Party and what they have done and help rescue the true conservative message. But I want to get to another conservative message that I think doesn't get told. I think the media does a very poor job. I think the freedom of the press is no longer free. I think that it is very expensive, and it's being paid for by very rich people and places. I can say that because I've been doing this since 1999. I understand it. I am a delegate for the state of Texas. I am a Republican. I'm also a very independent mind. You can go back, if you want to know about me, you can go over the hundreds of shows that I've done, and you know where I stand. And I am the last person to give kudos to the conservative party, the conservative movement, because they've done a very, very poor job in helping people understand what it is to be conservative, to conservatively balance your checkbook, to conservatively drink water. You know, if you drink too much water at once, it can kill you, so you better be conservative in how you do that. Anything we do, we need to make sure that we use a conservative mindset. But what happens is words get stolen. Heck, my grandfather used to say, hey, I feel very gay today. The Fred Flintstones used to say, hey, we'll have a gay old time. Now, if somebody said that, they go, really? That's interesting. And I'm not saying whether you're gay or not, that's your choice. But it's the thief, it's the theft of words. It's a way of spinning what is the norm. We can say the same thing about specific groups that vote in this country, okay? And about who is a minority, who is not a minority. What is a minority? Do they even really exist? Well, to my right are two people that I'm excited about. They're both friends of mine, and you've seen Gabe on the program before, and you've also seen Veronica on my program before when I was doing traditional AM and FM. And I got to tell you, I'm so glad to have you both together at the same time because, A, if you haven't noticed, they're both Latin or Mexican, or you'll define that. To me, you look like one or both of those. You look American. Oh, wait. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Gabe,
I will surprise you by saying yes.
You don't look American. You look like part of those minority groups. They're not Americans.
Maybe brown, but I bleed red, white.
You're an asterisk American. You're right, isn't that what it is? It's an asterisk American. You know, the bottom line is we got to get rid of all this stuff. It's BS.
Yeah.
Well, do I have to explain what that means? But Veronica Armendariz.
Very good.
Thank you. Hi, Nath. Well, I'm working on rolling my R's. Mrs. Barge, who was my 7th grade Spanish teacher, said I did not roll my R's well. So I've practiced since then just to do this. And then Mr. Gabe Nila. Welcome, the Common Man host on Be First in Media. Well, you know, I'm so excited about Latin style, and tell the folks a little bit about Latin style and why is it important? What's wrong? What is it? Why do we even need to have a program like Latin style?
Okay, well, in my honest opinion, I think this has been, like you said before in the beginning, it's a long time coming. The medias don't truly express, for me, what I expect out of my government and what the things that are lacking and the things that are not being expressed. I mean, I'm constantly, yelling at the TV, or I'm constantly yelling at the radio. I don't believe that. You don't speak for me. I mean, you see all these people that are asking, why do the Hispanics do this? Why do Hispanics do that? Why are they voting this way? Why are they voting that way? But it's hardly ever the Hispanics themselves that are truly answering those questions the way they ought to be answered. And I think that's why this is a great opportunity for us as Latinos, Mexicanos, Hispanics, however you want to categorize us, for us to actually express what we expect and what our voices are.
Now, you're saying there's a silent majority out there, like or a sleeping majority. A lot of people say that a lot of Americans are asleep. You know, you could go back to World War II, Tora, I think the movie was. I think we've awoken a sleeping giant, and that was the Japanese saying that about us after Pearl Harbor. You know, this new battleground we have in modern day politics is over the minority vote. And I don't think the term minority even makes sense when there's tens of millions of somebody in a place that only has 300 million people. That's not a minority. That's becoming a majority. But the reality is that, you know, statistically, this last election, 71% of voting Hispanics voted for Romney. For Romney, my God, for Obama. You know, he wishes that were true, that Freudian slip. But the fact is that why is that?
I don't think it's necessarily that we have the sleeping group as much as it is the people that are not truly involved and the things that they should be involved in, and that is, you know, truly expressing what needs to be expressed and why.
Why are 71% voting?
Yeah,
is it bad information?
No, and I will tell you the reason why is because the Republican Party has failed to do it. The groups that are, I mean, you know, when I was heavily involved in politics back in 2010, I was asked constantly, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? And I always said the same thing. Constantly and consistently. You need to go into these neighborhoods. You need to get to know these people. You need to go in there and say, hi, my name is so-and-so. Don't go in there and say, I'm a Republican, you need to vote for me because we think the same. That's not the approach that you need to take, and that is the exact approach that people have taken, and that is the wrong approach, because then you're going to come back, they're going to come back and they're going to tell you, you lied to me and you promised me all of these pretty things, you didn't come forward with anything, and I'm still here waiting.
Well, there's a saying, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And of course, that's paraphrasing Lincoln. You know, but the fact is that people, generations, Gabe, of minorities have lived under a Democrat ruling and have no better life standard other than that they get to get more under the WIC name, or they get more of something that keeps them in a voting class that's controlled.
Because the government's giving it to them.
Okay.
And they're accustomed to that.
Right.
And one of the problems that comes up, as you mentioned earlier, is that, you know, I'm the converted one, I guess, in the group. Where
you were raised a Democrat.
And I was always told, the government's going to take care of you no matter what happens. If you get hurt, the government's going to take care of you. You need help, the government's going to be there to help you out. And I grew up with the whole mindset of saying, great, I need more government. I need more government to help me out so that when I get hurt or my daughter gets hurt, I'm there. You know, thanks, give me. And it came time to the point where it didn't happen. The one time I asked the government, I asked the state, I said, I need help for my kid. What can I do? They said, sorry, can't help you out. I later found out that they should have. There was a program out there that could have helped her out that I would have been willing to pay into the system, but they said, no, sorry, can't do it for you. You're on your own. Because I was, you know, the reality of the situation, I was a single dad and I was making too much money. You know how much more I was making would have been than what the norm was? $200.
Right.
And they said, sorry, can't help you out. And I said, okay, great, thank you.
So you've been better off. The system rewards people for doing less so they can get more from the government.
Exactly.
Then, hey, do more and get more from the government.
So when that happened, I stopped and I said, okay, great. Do I regress and say, okay, let me make less money. Let me stop working the great job that I'm working and then get everything I'm going to get or that's going to be coming to me? Or do I say, no, I'm done. I'm moving forward and I want to go ahead and provide for my child and be able to say, thank you very much. Here's the money that I owe you via, you know, a la taxes. I'm going to go and take care of my daughter this way, and I'm going to go buy her whatever the hell she wants. So I came to the point where I said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to try that out. And I worked my ass off. I'll put it to that way. I was working 2 jobs. I became aware of what I needed to do so that I can help out my daughter. And I integrated my daughter with some of the stuff that I was doing, and it became a bigger benefit. Why? We got closer. She understood exactly what I was doing. It became a bigger benefit for me. Not only that, I was making more money, and I was able to buy her the stuff that she wanted. She got sick. I was able to pay for her doctor's bills. I was able to take her wherever she needed to go to the doctor and pay for it outright. If she wanted something, there you go.
Well, statistically, if you look at the stats, folks, of the last election, and really many elections before, it wasn't just 2012, there's a growing number of people, if you watch this graph, you know, if I could just draw it out on a board right now, the reality is that they say a war on women, okay, that the Republicans or conservatives have a war on women. The biggest war on women, here's what's interesting, if you really look into the DNA of this, a growing number of single women overwhelmingly this last election voted for Obama. A super majority of married women voted for Mitt Romney. What's the divide line? I mean, you're a single mom, okay? Why are so many single moms, and that means Latinos and all moms that are not married, they're voting for people like Obama and more government programs?
I think it was the promise of helping to take care of them. I mean, what better way to not have a husband, right, than your husband being the government to take care of you?
Right. Well, that's very well said.
So I don't agree with it. I am a single mother. I did not vote for Obama. Let's just make that clear. So, and this war on women thing, I just think it's a big hoax. The only war on women that exists is amongst women. I can't even tell you how many times I have heard successful women in the top 1% of their economic class attack another woman in the same position for not thinking the same. So that's your war on women. Don't sit here and tell me it's because of contraceptives. I honestly could care less about contraceptives. It's my responsibility to take care of myself and my daughter at one point, you know, when she's old enough and she's at that point. But for me, the things that are important to me are economics, jobs, what's going to be available to my daughter. I mean, the situation that we're in now, what is going to be available to her? Do I want to send her to college? Why? I mean, why? What's the point, right? Just
right. We have become, you know, it's an interesting point because we are now $1.1 trillion in debt in this country, specifically to higher education debt. 1.1 trillion. Okay, it's now getting up to the amount of money that we are going to be spending on defense. You know, for education, we have now become the most overeducated, unemployed country on earth. We have now it's become a business of educating people for getting their money, giving them a diploma, and then there's no job. We have over 50% unemployment on graduates of universities in this country right now. Over 50%. That is a gigantic number. And then those numbers go up if you're talking about people coming out of the military, trying to reacclimate back in to private sector, if they happen to have PTSD, or if you're a minority trying to do it, there's also issues there. So people say, well, you know what? Then we do need the government. Man, the government does need to step in. Is that true?
And you got people that are applying or that are taking loans out for classes that don't have any relevance today. I mean, you've heard those stories of underwater basket weaving. It's true. You got these people that are taking liberal arts, and I'm not saying anything bad about liberal arts. But really, seriously, how good is that going to help you out?
What's the job?
Yeah, what's the job? College? Okay, great. How many jobs are you going to find in college? There's too many people that are tenured that don't want to leave. And then, so you're funding that piece, and you're telling people, well, you deserve to go to the best school possible, even though you don't have the money for it.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting, you know, the debt. Usually it's supply and demand. Everything on this show we've talked about for years, and today is what? Supply and demand. Gaming, supply and demand. Education, staying on that for a moment, supply and demand. We force everyone to tell them you have to go to college. You have to go to college. Some of the most powerful entrepreneurs in the history of the world never went to college, including Steve Jobs, including Bill Gates. They left. Because the entrepreneurial spirit doesn't always need to spend 4 years in a university, and all of our loan money has now went to universities. Small business loans you can't get anymore. And here's what's really happened too. Now, this last presidency, and I'm not blaming it on Obama, it's because he didn't make the entire educational system the way it is. But the bottom line is, we the people now own that $1 trillion in debt. We own it. It used to be on the banks. The banks said people aren't paying us back. So now what? The federal government has now taken it over. That means you and I took it over. So then these people don't have jobs. So how do you get people to get jobs? Well, You have to have people who build business. You have to have people who can open up a company that can hire someone. And you don't do that by...
Be in a position
right.
that they have to have a skill set that's going to allow them to be hireable. That's going to be the main part. If you have someone that's knowledgeable on the English language, great. Is that going to help you wash a car? Is that going to help you do something else that's relevant? No. They have to have the skill set to go ahead. We need to have the people that have the skill set to do the work that needs to be done right now. And a lot of the people that are educated aren't. Why? Because they've taken the wrong classes, they've got the wrong degrees, or the education that they have now has now gone to another country. And that's a big problem right there. The main people that we have to concentrate on right now is those people that have the skill sets that for the jobs that we can do right now, where the jobs have been taken away to another country. We need to get something back because of what happened with this Great Recession, to go ahead and say, okay, we're going to take these businesses back. We're going to say, businesses, we're going to give you this deal in order to bring X amount of jobs back. Great. Now we have those.
How about lowering taxes? How about we're the highest corporate tax nation on earth? And let's look at the state of California. I was born in the state of California. You talk about a state that's so it's so upside down that it doesn't even, it is bankrupt. It has to write IOUs to its own government employees because it doesn't have enough money, but yet they give illegal aliens driver's licenses. They want to give free this, that, and the other. They're overwhelmingly Democrat ran. When I left there, Governor Gray Davis was there when he was impeached. You know, he was impeached, then they got Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? California is the greatest example of one of the most beautiful places on earth, in my opinion. Beautiful. 40% of LA is Hispanic. 40% of LA County is Hispanic, and a growing number of illegal aliens. Okay? Go back to my prior segment on the show where I talked about what an illegal alien is versus a WAP without papers, where Italians going through Ellis Island. An illegal alien is someone who comes across the border illegally and stays under the radar illegally. And overwhelmingly, a lot of them are in California. California has sanctuary cities. California feeds the system and the money, and California throws money at it, and California is bankrupt. When I left California, 58% of every dollar that a business owner made had to go to the government. 58%.
And that's a great segue as to why we're doing Latin style radio. Because here's the reality of the situation. You've got two people right here, right now, that have a conservative value. They believe in lower taxes, no government, get that out of our way, so we can do what we have to do. And then you have a group of individuals that are saying, no, I need more help from the government and whatever. But within those masses, you have individuals that are like-minded like us, that say, hey, you know, we should be helping you. I'm sorry, but you know, I've got my uncle over here that's here legally or hasn't received any type of, hasn't done anything for himself to improve his life and to improve his progeny. And yet they can't say anything because there's a continual cycle of where we have people coming in here illegally, and they're saying, okay, well, I think like you guys, I think like Veronica, and I think like Gabe, but I can't say anything because I've got an uncle over here that may get upset with me because if I speak my mind, he's going to say, oh, well, you're not like me. And the reality of the situation is that you can have your own voice. We're going to give you the voice here on this program. We're going to say, hey, guys, don't worry. You got two people here that believe like you do, and we want you to know that it's okay to think that way. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I have conservative values. I believe in pro-life. You know, I'm pro-life. I believe in lower taxes. I believe in having a business doing the best as possible without having to have a union kill it. And it's okay for us to say that. And it's okay for you as a listener to say, yeah, I believe in you guys. And that's one of the premises also of what we're doing here right now. Because how many people are out there doing that right now?
Sure, absolutely.
I don't know of anybody. In all honesty, I don't know of anybody right now that's saying that. Now, they may be saying it in some places, but it's not loud enough because you hear the other side saying, oh my God, we got to help everybody. We got to have the Dream Act. We got to do this. We got to do that. No, we don't. Take care of what we have right now, and then we'll deal with you guys later on. We have to worry about us. And once we take care of us, we'll take care of you.
Absolutely. We're going to a very entitlement-rich society. A lot of people with their hand out, they don't want to hand up. And I think that no society for sure has ever survived with that type of a mentality. I think that, here's what I've been saying to the folks for at least the last 3 years, that I believe the future of this country, if not the world, is going to be defined by the women and by what people call the minority group. What they do, first of all, women outnumber the men, period. If women just voted for the future of their kids and their grandkids and didn't worry about voting about filling donut holes, okay? You want to pay for your medical? Get gas at $1.20 a gallon where it should be, okay? In the most energy-rich nation on earth. And don't let the spin doctors try to tell you that it's about saving the environment, because the rules are not set the same for us, okay? It's not set for our border issues. Listen, we go help other people stay sovereign or fight for their sovereignty. We don't keep our sovereignty. We've lost ground. 60 miles of the state of Arizona and Pinal County you can't even go to because there's a sign that says warning because you have problems with a lot of a lot of danger on the border in the south of the border coming through Arizona. The bottom line is we have got to start pushing back. That's why Latin style is really the key to getting the information out, but also that olive branch to. So I believe there's a huge number of people out there. What do you think the statistic is of people that aren't saying anything or not showing up to the polls, or because they don't want to vote the wrong way, so they just don't vote at all, okay? Or they go because, like you said, Gabe, peer pressure. They vote because their uncle, they think that they're voting because of they're being honest to their family tradition or whatever. What number of people out there do you think can be won over to reality, if you will, by getting the correct information?
I think it's going to take some years, to be honest, because I think we
have years.
we better have them.
We're going to have to push it on being able to tell people, look, you want this, that's fine, but it's going to hurt you in the long run. Trust me, I've seen it. I've been there. But if you want a better, not necessarily a better life for yourself, but an opportunity for your children to have a better life, then you might want to reconsider what you're doing right now, because something's not right. And to answer that question, I think the number that was actually up there was about 30%. I think we were looking at 30% of the people that want to vote that way, want to vote the right way, if you will, aren't doing it because of those influences on the influences of mom and dad and whomever. And they've got to say, hey, I'm sorry, but I've got to vote my conscience. And the way we've had this set up, where we started this whole project of Be First in Business, or Be First in Media, it was a chance opportunity for us to go ahead and say, let's work this out. So we've had, if you want to put it this way, we have two minority groups. We have an Irishman.
We have a redhead.
We have a redhead, and you have
Italians.
You have a person who's identified as an Hispanic that are trying to create something different, and be able to say it's possible. This whole venture, this whole Latin style radio is the opportunity for people to say, let me see what I can do now so I can take care of my children, take care of my grandchildren. I heard a Lutheran priest say one time, we as adults do have our paths that we take. And those paths that we take, we shine the lights on so that our children can follow those routes that we're doing, to make sure that we don't do anything, to make sure that they don't fall under the same cracks that we did, fall in the same pitfalls, and to help them get to where they need to go without having too many issues. And this is what we're doing now. We have now seen that a lot of people, especially in the Latino, Hispanic, Mexican, American, Chicano community, however you want to call it, are saying, well, let me go ahead and get that help because I need that help. Well, we want to tell you guys, we're going to show you the way how to do it. We want to be able to say, here's a pathway. This is a pathway that we know works. And if you want to come with us and join the ride, come on in.
Because it's about success. Folks, here's the bottom line. We have a couple minutes left here. And again, speaking with Veronica, Armendariz, and Gabe Nila, they're the hosts of Latin style, and it's a program that is greatly needed because some of the things that are happening in our society, we have to start really thinking about. We have to look at what the minimum wage has done to drive more illegal aliens into this country. Every time we raise the minimum wage up, we have more illegals who get imported. Why? Because it's a modern day slave labor. It's a modern way to get very inexpensive labor while we get other people who can't be hired because of the minimum wage, so they end up going on the system. And now the average person on the system, if you're a mother of two, you make an average of $42,000 a year being on the government system. So why would I want to go out and get a job? We now have a system now that why would I want to go get a job? I don't need to get a job. I get 42 grand from the government. I get free healthcare, I get free food, I get cable, I get phones, I got it all. Why do I even want to get a job? And so who's doing those jobs? The one who's doing the jobs are the ones who are the illegal alien coming in, filling in that vacuum, and being paid, a lot of them under the table. These are factual, real things. Everything, every action has an opposite and equal reaction. So why do we do it? We do it because the average person doesn't realize the ramifications of the situation that we have in this country. It's like taxing the rich. When people go, well, you got to tax the rich because they make too much money. Well, the bottom line is no poor person has ever given me a job. And the best way for you to help the poor is to not be poor. That's the best way to help poor people. Don't be a poor person. That's the best way to do it. We have become a society that believes that we don't have to feel pain. We've become a society that believes that we don't have to sacrifice. We become a society that believes that, I'm not going to give up. What are you talking about? I'm in my retirement days. Or hey, I'm going to retire in 5 years. Or, I lost my money in the stock market, so I need to get my subsidy too. Oh, we need to bail out General Motors. Oh, we need to bail out the union. Here's the happening now. Here's what I love. Okay? I love Latin style and what's going to come from that. I love that. And I also love that capitalists are pushing back. Business owners are pushing back. People like Hostess go, you know what? Forget you. See you later. Go get your own job. And it's going to keep going that way. Because the bottom line is we're not communists. We're not socialists. We're Americans. We have a Bill of Rights that comes from the U.S. Constitution. We are endowed by our Creator with those rights for the pursuits of happiness. Not the guarantee of happiness. Not the guarantee for anything. There's no guarantee for anything except to be safe and to have sovereign borders. That's it. That's what it is. Number one. And the one thing that we're not doing is that. We don't have our sovereignty because we can't control our own borders. We're fighting battles overseas and not battling the ones right here at home. And the Latin world, I believe, is a front line. I think a lot of the people are just like what you're saying. 30%, I think, is a real number. I think 30% of the people out there, folks, that means people like you out there, that that when you get the real facts, you can make the right decision. It is true garbage in, garbage out. And don't be afraid to push back. Freedom of speech isn't about saying, hey, you look great today. No, it's not. It's about pushing back and saying, you know what? This is wrong, and this is what we're going to do about it. And I applaud both of you for what you're doing. So, Latin Style, up on Facebook. You got it up yet?
We've got it up on Facebook. We're going to go and start promoting it very shortly. We also have the internet radio program.
That's right.
We're going to be doing this. This is going to be fantastic. Because of Be First in Media, where we have the opportunity to do a wide array of things, where we can broadcast, we can go out and do remotes. We can also do audio. And what we're going to be doing with Latin Style is that we're going to be bringing the audio format.
Like traditional radio.
Like traditional radio, where everybody can get on their phone and listen to it whenever they want to. They want to download it on iTunes, they want to download it on Stitcher, they want to go to anywhere that they want to on their computer. They want to be at work.
Their tablet?
Their tablet. They want to, any type of computer device. They can download that program, they can listen to it on demand. And be able to say, I want to see what's going on with these two, and be able to play it while they're doing work. It's a great concept. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. Listen, information is power. And Veronica, thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely, I'm very excited about it. Gabe, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been with you for a number of years. I had the top format in Central Texas for quite a while. Battled Dr. Dina Dell. And I saw what was around. I see it. Listen, we're not fools. There's a saying, a fool and their money is soon parted. Well, have you looked at your checkbook lately? Have you looked at our checkbook lately as a nation? The bottom line is the place we're going to find the solutions is in the mirror. Where we're going to find the strength is in the mirror. Where we're going to find the facts, it's right in front of us, folks, and it's all around us. And the bottom line is, we are truly all in this together. We have got to start acting the way that we were supposed to act in the founding of this country. It starts with the first 3 words. And it's the biggest words on the piece of paper, and they are we the people. Okay? I'm not one of those people, as you know, that wraps the American flag around me and runs down the street saying, you know, we're going to have a new revolution. That's not me. But the bottom line is this. We are here on purpose. We're the greatest nation on God's green earth. We have done more good for the world than any nation in the existence of time, ever. The facts prove that. But I will tell you this. An apathetic world, society, that starts to really look in the mirror and just blow kisses at it and doesn't want to believe that the problem is what's in the mirror, you know, that is where we are heading. And in the end, if we don't change that mindset through the facts, through education, through programming like Latin style, and many others that we're doing, that we believe that there's no way out of it other than the facts. So folks, please go to CraigBushonShow.com, go to Be First in Media. I've got all the links on there for Be First in Business. We have live chat on there. We do RSS feeds. We do Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, right? And now we got a new gaming show. That's exciting. Woo! Yeah. The only heckler in the room is the gaming world. But the bottom line is, folks, listen, we're all in this together. Thank you so much. God bless. We'll see you very soon. Always know the archives are right up. Got a new review, I think, up for the Cadillac 2013, Gabe. That's also up on What's in the Garage. Veronica, Gabe, thank you so much. Stay tuned for Latin Style. Folks, just go home and relax. Thank you so much.